After a very controversial day yesterday here at Vancouver International Speedway, we are back for race number 2 of the doubleheader weekend here for the 1-Up Turbo Truck Series. Brett Bishop scored the win yesterday. We'll see what he can do now from a 19th starting spot here today, and we'll see who at the front can lay claim to a victory of their own here in Vancouver, Washington. Alongside me in the booth, as was the case yesterday, is Duke Gansack once again, and we learned a lot in those first 75 laps. Passing is difficult, expect the unexpected, and if you can get the lead going in the turn 1, lap 1, you're going to have a very good day, I imagine.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we've got a whole new cast of characters up front now we've flipped what ended up being the top 19 cars after who ended up on the lead lap after the last race. So we're looking at Ellison starting first, Sear starting second, and those two are going to be the ones to watch on the very start, and all eyes will be on them because whoever takes the lead going into turn 1 is going to be in a really good position for the whole race. And of course, we saw yesterday the potential for some passing for the lead, but again, it is extremely difficult. So it's going to be whoever takes the lead is going to be in the best position to possibly win the race on lap 1. So it's going to be critical, and there's no inversion to worry about this time. It's hard charge, race into the finish, winner takes all in this one.
And now we can look at the starting lineup, which, as you said, takes the top 19 cars who finished on the lead lap, invert all of them, and we'll re-rack them and do it again as it was yesterday. So James Ellison, who finished 19th yesterday, will start on pole today with Earl Sear alongside him. Knox Hanley gets a career best start in 3rd. Ryan Soper, Zachary Bilson round out the top 5. We've got, like you said, we got a whole new cast of characters up at the front. Anybody you see up at the front now that perhaps wasn't able to make some noise yesterday, but you think could be a big contender here now that they're up at the front?
Well, we have to keep an eye on, of course, the first two, and specifically Earl Sear. I think. I mean, the last time he started up front, he led the whole race, just like we saw yesterday. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I think that a lot of these guys, Ryan Griffin starting in 6th is going to be big news, and we'll just see where everybody's able to go. People that are looking at possibly a really good points day today. Francois Chastain starting 15th. He has a good opportunity to get up there, and of course Brett Bishop he's starting 19th, but he was the fastest yesterday. So if he's able to get some time or gain some positions, he'll be able to knock out a really good points weekend here. So it's gonna be fascinating, to say the least.
So with that being said, we've got all 42 lined up on the grid again, and we're ready to bring you another 75 laps of action from Vancouver International Speedway. This is the 1-Up Turbo Truck Series doubleheader race number 2, and the green flag is mere moments away. Stay tuned, you're not going to want to miss it. Heading into the restart zone once again, it is James Ellison ahead of Earl Sear. The green flag is out. We're underway once again at Vancouver, and James Ellison gets a very good start, similar to what Brett Bishop did yesterday. But now, Earl Sear is clear into 2nd place, so we'll see what the 3 can do once he's got behind the 10. And it looks like we got a battle for 3rd raging between Knox Hanley and Ryan Soper, battling for 3rd as we complete lap 1.
Yeah, so that was really good. Like we said, James Ellison now in 1st place, and that we were talking about it in the pre-race show. This is very important that has happened, and we'll watch now, and we'll see what he's able to do as far as gain a gap on these guys until he catches the lappers. Once he catches the lap cars, that's when everything changes.
And look at Ryan Soper. He's cleared Knox Hanley to move up into 3rd. So the 84 started back in 4th. He's up to 3rd now. He's proved that passing is possible here. And Earl Sear wants to prove it as well. He's getting closer to James Ellison as they complete lap number 3. I just don't know if it's going to be doable quite yet. They should probably wait until the lap traffic plays a bit of a factor. But like you said earlier, no inversion to worry about. This is just a sprint to the checkered flag from here on out.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see. Oh, it's close, and the 3 goes to the bottom. Earl Sear trying to make a move already. He's going to... Yeah, he had to back out of it. Man, he has made an attempt, though. He must have watched yesterday's race and learned, because now he is all over the 10 car trying to make a move and get the lead away early in this race.
But it is still James Ellison holding the lead. These are the first laps he led since his win in Pensacola back in March, and he's looking to win for the second time in his career. And how about Ryan Soper once again? He's making a move on Earl Sear for second. This 84 is really fast now that it's out in front.
Wow.
Here he comes down to the inside. This could be a big day for the 84 if he can prove how good it is to make passes here at Vancouver.
Man, so Earl Sear went from making a move for the lead to now losing second place. He's fighting for his life on the outside lane. It's not going to be enough. Ryan Soper gets by. Moving into second place is that 84 truck, and we'll see what he can do with the leader if he catches him now. James Ellison has to be on high alert after watching the 84 get by the 3 so easily.
Yeah, but he still got 0.6 of a second to close up on, and Earl Sear looks very eager to get that second place back. So he's probably got to focus more on defending from Earl Sear than to focus on attacking James Ellison, who's still 0.6 out in the lead.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So this is Ryan Soper has now had to go into defense mode, and it's maybe not enough because Earl Sear, man, he got chopped right there. Ryan Soper dropped down in the middle of the corner like he normally does, but the 3 was there and had to let off. It's almost another avoided catastrophe in this one. Man, oh man, Ryan Soper keeps second place though, and they're hard charging trying to get up to the leader.
Yesterday's winner, Brett Bishop, has fallen back to the 21st position now, as we're 11 laps into this race. So not quite as good in traffic as he was out in clean air leading this race, but right now it is James Ellison that has led every lap so far. He's led all 10 so far, and this is the most laps James Ellison has ever led in a one-up Turbo Truck Series event. So he's looking to lead the rest of them as well, score his second win in this season. For Crossroads Racing, that is an incredible accomplishment. This midfield team looking to shine, and they're doing a very good job of it. James Ellison holding a very strong lead right now.
Yeah, well, it was the perfect opportunity after yesterday's race to be in just the right spot, to get the pole, being the last car on the lead lap. And of course, it wasn't a bad day by any means. He was sitting in 19th place at the end of yesterday's race. So this is really good for the 10 truck so far. We'll see how it goes now that the 84 has separated himself from Earl Sear in the 3. Just a little bit, enough to be off of the defense and maybe start moving into an offensive driving style to try to catch up to that 10 truck.
As they power off turn 4, we'll see what the lead is at the line. It was half a second. It remains half a second between Ellison and Soper at the moment. Earl Sear is closing right back up on this group, and it looks like these are the 3 that are going to be battling it out for the race win here, because Ryan Griffin in 4th is already almost 2 seconds off the lead. Knox Hangley in 5th, nearly 3 seconds off, as here comes Earl Sear battling for a second once again.
Yeah, so Earl Sear was able to get to the bottom of the 84, much like the 84 did to him. However, Ryan Soper able to get a good run off the outside lane and maybe make it work. Stay up there. Earl Sear made one more attempt at him, but it's not going to be enough. And now they are both more than 1 second behind the leader. Their battle is futile, it seems, because they are just losing more and more time to the 10 truck.
And James Ellison's liking what he's seeing in the rearview mirror as Earl Sear makes another move, but he has to back out of it again. And James Ellison just starting to build up a bigger lead. It's now 1.1 seconds that Ellison has to work with. That's great news for the Crossroads Racing number 10, because right now he can just focus on running his race. He doesn't have to worry about anyone behind him, and the lap traffic hasn't arrived quite yet, so he can just focus on clicking off solid laps, and the gap is pretty much stabilized now at about a second.
Yeah, if I hadn't been watching the beginning part of this race, I would say that the 84 is holding up both the 3 and the 29 right now. But remember, Ryan Soper got by the 3 early in this race and has just been able to stay there. But it seems like maybe that truck has fallen off a little bit, or maybe he heated up his tires at some point and he's just holding on right now. Maybe just waiting to see when those lap cars arrive into the equation, and we'll drive down the leader then. Maybe an interesting strategy to save your stuff for when you have an opportunity to catch back up due to the lappers who are right here, and there are so many of them. Look at these trucks side by
We
side.
do
all the
have
way
one on pit road. That's what we're trying to find.
Oh, boy.
And it's the 91 of Bronson Minnick. He had a spin in yesterday's race, and now he had a mechanical issue in today's. He has not had a very good weekend this time around, has Bronson Minnick in the Hogan Acres number 91, and he's going to fall off the lead lap, and he's going to finish well down the order regardless of if he gets back out there or not. Just a difficult situation for the 91 to face, but there's still other races to manage to go to and get ready for, and I'm sure he'll be ready in a few weeks' time when we head to Indianapolis Raceway Park for round number 10 of the season. But as things stand right now, James Ellison continues to lead by about a second and a quarter, and the gap is pretty much stabilized, and Soper has managed to drop Sear and Griffin as well, so I don't know. This is going to be very interesting to see once the lap trucks come into the equation.
Yeah, this is playing out a little bit differently than yesterday's race so far, because now we've got a big gap between the leader and second place, and then between second place and third and fourth as well. We've got significant gaps between all those drivers, so they're all a little bit on their own right now, waiting around until they catch those lappers.
Yeah, James Ellison will definitely be the first one on the scene, as we now have 50 laps to go from Vancouver, but no lap trucks in sight quite yet. It's going to be interesting to see. I've also noticed Ryan Soper is running a much higher line than anybody else, trying to generate momentum up there. It's going to be interesting to see if that actually pays off for him or not, but as things stand right now, he's doing a pretty good job. Looks like we got a smoker on the bottom of the racetrack. We'll find out who that is. That's the 07 of Brandon Mayhew. His race is over on lap 27. That is a tough break for Brandon Mayhew. That whole Logan Sport team has had a miserable season so far. No top 10s to speak of. They missed the opening race at Pensacola. They're doing a good job with Knox Hanley in 7th, but as for their other truck, Brandon Mayhew, it's game over at Vancouver.
Yeah, not a really, really tough break. We've seen a lot of mechanical troubles this weekend so far. So, hey, let's just load that thing up, bring back a brand new one for the next race, and hope it goes better there, and maybe make a little bit your own luck in the next one. That's all you can do at this point in the race. So we're watching this 10. And we're going to see James Ellison, once he catches the lappers, how well he's able to maneuver through. And we've been watching that 84 running a little bit of a higher lane than anybody else. That could impact how well he's able to get through the lap traffic. If he's able to maybe work in that outer groove, he could have an advantage of getting by, considering everybody's going to be running the same lane as James Ellison. We'll see how it goes. But Ryan Soper is gaining time on the leader right now. At just each lap, a little bit more and a little bit more every time by. So it's going to be fascinating. This race is far from over.
And you can see the 84 getting closer and closer in the rear view for James Ellison as we complete lap 31, entering lap 32. We got 40 trucks on track, and they're all on the lead lap. Bronson Minnick and Brandon Mayhew, the only casualties of this race so far. But as things stand right now, it is James Ellison with a pretty sizable lead. Still, it's down to 3/4 of a second, though, between he and Ryan Soper. As Zach Rogers holds the fastest lap of the race. He'll get a bonus point for that. But no one will be scoring more points today than James Ellison. He's led all 33 laps so far, holding off Ryan Soper for the moment, but this was the point in time of the race yesterday when the lap traffic started to be a real big factor. So we'll see what happens then, but for now, it's smooth sailing for Ellison.
Yeah, Ellison is looking really good right now, and it's fascinating to see how this race kind of adjusts, and there's always with these races, there's like a flow. They kind of compress a little bit, and then they spread out a little bit more, and compress and spread out. And right now, we're in a little bit of a compression period. You can see that the 84 is gaining time on the leader, and then behind them, Earl Sear is also gaining time on the two of them. So this is going to be interesting to see if they're nose to tail as they catch the lappers here. That could be big news for this race.
Ryan Soper, of course, looking for his first win in any one-up racing series. He's competed in all 3 of them, yet to find success in any of them. His best finish so far was a 4th in the Truck Series race at Las Vegas earlier this season, which of course was a bit of a super speedway race in itself, but he always fares well on the short track, and this is of course one of those, so he's gotten the gap down to 0.4 of a second. Could we see the 84 finally pull through? But it's going to be a difficult task considering where we're at and how hard it is to pass, and considering James Ellison has still got a pretty decent lead over him.
Yeah, that would be absolutely incredible. I mean, what a turnaround for this Ryan Soper in the 84. I mean, I remember a time when it would be rare we saw a week when he wasn't on his roof. It's to come around and turn into this after a great starting position in this race, thanks to the inversion from yesterday. A solid run yesterday, of course. Everybody who started up front today did. He's had a little bit of a mid-pack run, a bit higher yesterday. So just earned his way up to the front, and now has made some passes. He's getting there, and he's going to be right on the bumper of the leader before long. And then there's going to be the lappers as well involved at some point in this race. So yeah, it's looking good for both these cars up front. Have a good opportunity to get a win right here.
But no one's got a better view than James Ellison. We're past halfway in this race. James Ellison has locked up the most laps led bonus point of this race. We got another one on pit road. It looks like it's the 00 of Riley Hooper, who was running in just outside the top 10 at the time. He's going to lose a load of positions here before this is all said and done. So a tough break for the 00 team, who were really needing a good run. They were outside the top 30 in points. This is not going to help them in their bid for that. But like you said earlier, just load it up and head to Indianapolis in a few weeks. You hopefully have a better run there. There you see Riley Hooper coming out of the pits. He does now have 40 lap fresher tires than everybody else. He should be able to slice through this field in no time.
Yeah, definitely. So that could cause some drama as well. As you see really tight, close quarters right here racing. But, that 00 coming up through the field and through the leaders. He's sitting there racing side by side with 29 in 4th place. Of course, not on the lead lap. But see, just there, it's going to cause a situation where now they're side by side for 4th. Not anymore, they aren't. But that 00 could be a little bit of a fork in the road for some of these drivers. And the catalyst to some passing.
Yeah, absolutely. But we still have about 30 laps here at Vancouver, and James Ellison has led them all so far, and the gap has opened up pretty well to about 6-7 of a second. But you saw it a moment ago. Lap traffic is getting closer and closer for James Ellison. He's got to navigate these guys carefully, because one mishap could allow the 84 right past him once again, and that is not what Ellison would want to see after seeing Brett Bishop lead every lap yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is going to be really fascinating. I mean, we're seeing the lappers in some of these camera shots that we've got of the leader now, and there it is. There's buddy Levi in the 82 sitting there in the final position before going a lap down, and now the 00 passing. Not for second place, but passing the truck in second place. So far, no passing catalyst is the 00, and he's about to catch the leader. And of course, fresher tires on this truck is what's allowing this to happen.
He's already got the 7th fastest lap of the race as well. So good job from Riley Hooper to make the best of a bad situation. But he's probably still going to finish well down the order. But this is promising to see, because he unlapped himself once from James Ellison. He's probably still at least 1 lap down after this. But it's promising to see him with this much speed in that 00, because he was 31st in owners points going in. He's probably not going to improve on that, but he'll be in a good position when we go to Indianapolis Raceway Park in a few weeks.
Yeah, a little bit of confidence coming from the ability to go back out there on the track and pass all these leaders and set some good lap times with the fresh tires. That's just it's just all that is helping your motivation, helping your confidence, and get you back out there next week on your feet, ready to rumble.
But right now, we've got about 25 laps to go, and it is James Ellison comfortably out front by 0.8 of a second. You see the gap between he and the back of the field is getting closer and closer as Riley Hooper is going to start getting to work on lapping as many people as he can to try. Oh, and they're going 3 wide in the turn 1.
Oh, boy.
That could be trouble, but they make it work, and Hooper manages to stay in one piece. He gets around Forley, he gets around Brown, and Alejandro Cisneros as well.
Man, that was an intense move, but Riley Hooper is saying, see you later, driving by everybody, and now they're too wide in front of James Ellison, our leader, and I have a feeling that 84 is going to be involved, the 3 is going to be involved, possibly the grouping of the 81, 29, and 38 as well could get involved, so we'll see how this goes here. And James Ellison taking it to the high side, trying to pass the 82.
Not going to work, I don't believe. Yeah, he stays behind the 82, and that's going to allow the 84 to close quite quickly, I believe, on Ellison. So he's got to find a better way of getting around these guys. As he sees Cisneros and Brown ahead of these guys side by side. What he might need to do is just tuck behind the 82, get around the 70 first, and then try and focus on the 82 and the 5 at a later time.
I don't know if the 70 isn't faster than them on the outside than they are on the bottom. Yeah, look at that. So go around the outside of the 82. I don't know. Probably not a good move with the 84 right there, going for the lead. This is a battle for the lead. They're side by side. Who's going to get it? It's James Ellison on the outside with the momentum going past the 82, significantly slower today. Must have some sort of mechanical situation brewing in that truck. It's slow on the exit. Now 3 trucks battling for the lead, all right with each other. 2 of them still stuck behind the 82. Man, oh man, this has changed the complexion of this race. Wow, exciting.
Could that have been Ryan Soper's best last chance to get the lead? Because now Earl Sear dives down the inside. He has to back out of it. But Earl Sear did what he needed to do. Now Zachary Bilson's back in the mix as well in the 81. He's in 4th. Man, oh man, you were right. This race has changed. James Ellison is still leading this race by a comfortable margin, but now we've got an interesting battle for second on our hands that could brew into something big here in the final 15 laps of this race.
Definitely, because here comes the 29, and the 38 is involved as well, so this is a train of trucks that are all racing for position, and now the 82 is starting to drive away from these guys, so this is all they've got, no lappers involved, and man, okay, there's a pass there for 5th place, and then here goes the 3 to the bottom, trying to make sure that that's a little bit of a defense right there to make sure the 81 doesn't get low, which could allow the 29 to go low. Man, how exciting.
Remember, Zachary Bilson was fastest in practice earlier this weekend, so he knows how to get around this place. Currently riding in 4th position we're closing in on 10 to go. It's going to be very interesting to see how these guys manage the rest of this race. Soper started to pull away, but these 4 are nose to tail in a battle for 3rd. It goes all the way back to Jack Boswell in 6th.
Yeah, this will be interesting. Here comes Bilson on the inside of Earl Sear. Earl Sear wasn't able to stay in the position. He wasn't able to defend from the outside lane earlier in this race against Ryan Soper. What's going to happen now that Bilson is low? The 3 gets some momentum on the outside lane. Is it going to be enough? Oh, he cleared him, but he's still on the outside lane. What's going to happen? He's going to have to drop down. It gets a lot of momentum. The 81 has to get off the gas, and the 3 keeps the spot. Man, what a battle.
But despite all this, James Ellison has not lapped anybody recently. He's still behind the 70 of Brown and the 5 of Cisneros. So right now, we have 11 laps to go right now, and James Ellison is still in a train of lap traffic here. That has allowed Ryan Soper to get right back into the battle for the lead. He's currently about half a second behind. This is going to be very interesting to see, because at this point in time, Ellison's got this race on a lock unless something crazy happens at the end, which has happened this weekend already, so you never know. But as Soper makes a move to the high side, trying to get around Thorley.
Yeah, Levi Thorley is James Ellison's best friend right now, keeping all those other trucks behind, especially that 84, who has been hard charging all day, was waiting for the opportunity to get into some lap traffic to maybe have a chance to take the lead, and now is stuck behind Levi Thorley in the 82 and had maybe an opportunity, but he's going to try to sneak high. I don't know if that's the way you should go. That is how James Ellison passed him earlier, so we'll see. Oh, and James Ellison isn't going anywhere with 2 wide in front of him. Man, oh man. Ryan Sober's got to get by. Here he goes on the outside. He's gotten clear of Levi Thorley, and now the next truck in front of him is the leader.
And they are nose to tail, are Soper and Ellison, with under 10 laps to go in this race. This is going to be a thrilling battle for victory we did not have yesterday afternoon, so it just goes to show you anything can happen in the 1-Up Turbo Truck Series, but Soper has to back out a little bit. That's going to allow a bit of a lead for James Ellison. We'll see if he can hang on to it now with 7 laps to go.
And Ellison now has the opportunity to maybe start passing some of these trucks in front of him. I feel like if he could get by only one of them, he would have the opportunity to stay ahead, because it'll take so long for Ryan Soper and those others to get past. Of course, we're watching. Nobody else has gotten by Thorley in the 82, and there's an issue up front. There's an issue in front of them. There's a spin, and they're crashing in front of the leaders. Oh man, they're all the leaders are involved in this thing. My goodness, what's going on?
Regardless of what's going on, the caution flag is out. Oh, and Christian Russell had such a good weekend going in the 44. Got a top 10 yesterday. Will not even see the checkered flag today. Heartbreak for the Pirate Bay Motorsports team, as is Chad Myers. His race is done. But the caution has come out, and I'm not so sure we're going to be able to get this race restarted.
No, I do not know, because cautions at this track are a little bit whack. Maybe they've worked on them overnight. The drivers' meeting, talk to these guys about it. We'll see what happens. We'll see where the pace truck picks all these guys up. But right now, we're seeing on our list that the 10 remains the leader, as I believe should be the case, with some damage. They all got some damage. The 3 is gone. Oh no, the 3 is in second place now, is past Ryan Soper. Oh my goodness.
And the pace truck has picked up James Ellison behind the 23 of Buren Jacob, the 47 of Houston, the 92 of Grigsby, and Tanner Browning in the 32. I think this is going to be the end of the race right here, because I do not see the only way we could get this race restarted is if this pace truck pulls off within the next 2 laps, and I do not see that happening with such a big cleanup. Oh, and Brian Grigsby showing a bit of displeasure to Carson Jefferson in the 66. Not sure what's going on there, but at this point, oh yeah, this is getting a bit ridiculous here. But at this point in time, James Ellison, as long as he can keep that truck on the track, which is a bit difficult at the moment considering what Brian Grigsby is up to right now, if he can hang on, this will be his 2nd career win right here.
Oh, please hang on, James Ellison, please.
He gets around Grigsby, so everything's settled, but he's going to take his vented out on Sam Houston. This isn't going to bode well for officials. They're going to have to take a look at this 92 for a little bit. Is now Tanner Browning, and oh boy, I don't think they've gotten this issue sorted. We might not be back here until they sort it out. But the pace truck would have to pull off within the next lap and a half for this race to restart, and I do not know if it's going to do that or not. So,
lights on still.
If the lights do not go out on this lap, this will be a complete race, as you see Cisneros getting spun around. But they're not going to be able to restart this, not with all these cars getting spun out under caution. And Grigsby finally pulls it to pit road. Nope, the lights stay on the pace truck. This will be an official race here at Vancouver International Speedway, and James Ellison will score his 2nd career win in the Turbo Truck Series if he can hang on for just 2 more laps under yellow.
Robert Weaver making a pit stop here. Not sure if that was such a good idea. I don't know exactly why the 6 was in the pits right there. But yeah, if this 10 truck can just stay on the racetrack side by side with the 51 right there, we'll see. But that 10 will be the winner of this race as long as we're out here. So let's see.
As long as he stays on the track. Remember, we had a certain ace in this series not long ago who had to pit on the final lap for whatever reason, and that handed the win to another driver behind him. But it looks like he'll be able to hang on as we take the white flag under yellow. James Ellison's going to be in a very good position here. We'll get you a replay of what happened to Russell and Myers after the checkered flag flies and everyone makes it back to pit road, so don't worry about that. But our focus right now is on James Ellison, who right now is about half a lap away from his second career win in the series, and boy, would he have earned it here today.
Yeah, another dominating performance here at Vancouver International Speedway. That's just the nature of it here. And the 10 just put on a clinic. I mean, was challenged at some points as well, and had some trucks right up with him, and just never gave up, never faltered, and has hopefully been able to pull out a win here. They're coming onto the front straightaway. Unless there's a big problem now, he's going to win this race underneath the checkered flag. It's James Ellison.
James Ellison takes the checkered flag and scores his second one-up Turbo Truck Series win at Vancouver Motorsports Park. A dominating performance, led every lap today. An incredible run here today. Earl Sear gets a runner-up finish in second. Even though Ryan Soper lost a position at the end, that is still a career-best finish for him. He will come home third. Ahead of Zachary Bilson, fourth. He will close the points gap a little bit on Ryan Griffin, who finishes right behind him in fifth. Jack Boswell and Knox Hanley both get their first career top 10s in sixth and seventh, ahead of Billy Kidd in eighth, Austin Runkle ninth. Kev Shearer rounds out the top 10 just ahead of Zach Rogers in 11th. I said this was going to be a pretty weird day, and it all happens on the yellow, but boy, what a day we've had, or what a weekend we've had at Vancouver. They're having a bit of trouble still, but this has been quite a weekend at Vancouver International Speedway. Not sure if we'll be back or not, but even if we don't, this is going to be a weekend to remember for a lot of people.
Absolutely. A fantastic couple of races we've had here, and a lot of fast drivers to watch, and it's been a lot of fun here at Vancouver, and yeah, congratulations to the 10 truck today for winning that race. Absolutely dominated, was able to fend off all the challengers and get it done. So a great job to that whole team, and hey, we'll be back for the next one.
We will, but before we sign off, we're going to have a look at what caused this final caution to set up the bit of chaos at the end of this race. It looked like it involved Christian Russell in the 44, Chad Myers in the 36, and as the trucks pull on the pit road to finish this race and complete it under yellow, we'll take a look now at what happened to Russell and Myers. So here was Chad Myers, or Christian Russell, I should say. He was running just outside the top 10, and it looks like, the engine lets go. He spins in his own oil, and he gets tagged by Whalen, by Allison Rain. And yesterday's winner, Brett Bishop, gets involved in this as well. A big stack up. It all started when Christian Russell's engine expired with 5 laps to go, and from there it just ended his day, and it ended Chad Myers' day as well. Heartbreak for Christian Russell. He was having such a strong weekend in that Pirate Bay Motorsports entry. This will still be a very good weekend for them even still, but what could have been? He was running in the top 15 when that happened.
Yeah, and that accident caused a lot of trucks, even in the front of the field, to get damaged. I mean, everybody kind of just piled into that whole incident there, so really lucky that there weren't more retirements from that accident, but yeah, a really tough break for Christian Russell there after putting together a solid couple of races on the comeback trail. Started 11th, and yeah, just a tough situation there.
But we will be back in a few weeks' time for the 1-Up Turbo Truck Series at Indianapolis Raceway Park in a few weeks. So look forward to seeing these guys take on the short track out in Indianapolis. We're looking forward to that as much as you are. And until then, we're signing off for now. So, from Duke Anzac and from myself as well, we say goodbye for the second time from Vancouver International Raceway. Congrats to our winners this weekend. Brett Bishop yesterday, James Ellison today, both dominated their races, and they will have a lot of momentum going forward as we head off to Indianapolis Raceway Park. So long from Vancouver. We'll see you again in a few weeks' time.